Hello guys and welcome to Friday Night. That is right, Friday night. Where have we been? It is another Friday, and yes, that is right, it is the Chell Lawman BTCC, brought to you by Eldar Racing, and yes, it is that friendly face, of course. It's the BTCC expert, the BTCC encyclopedia. Of course, who else would you want to be? It is the one and only Hoppers in the commentary box. How are we doing? It's slightly humid tonight, so I'm going to be hopefully going to keep hydrated, but we are here for round number 6, or I think it was round possibly 11 and 12, I'm not too sure. I'll work it out in a moment or two, but we are here at the home of the German Grand Prix, or home of the Nurburgring 24 hours, and we are going to be on the GP loop here in Germany for what is going to be another thrilling, exciting race night, well, night of racing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to go on. I'm just going to make sure I'm actually heard on stream just for a second. Yes, I am. That's okay. That's pretty decent. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen tonight for potentially what could be a nail-biting end towards the end. I think we're towards the end of the season now, so it's going to be fantastic to see exactly what's going to happen. I think the likes of Moreno, he's come back, but it could be very interesting to see exactly what's going on. But is anyone going to stop this guy, Katanis, from, of course, last week getting the double at Chell Mountain? He escaped up the road very well in both races within the likes of just trying to think, the likes of Rob Scholler and of course Dean Atkinson. We do have a comment on stream. I'm just going to see how it is. But I believe it's Neil. Good evening, Neil. Have a good night watching with a beer. Oh, that sounds tempting, mate. That sounds tempting. Well, I'm going to probably have one after I finish commentating tonight. But looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. So as I said, yeah, is anyone going to stop Katanis getting another 2 double wins? He actually did very well. Like I said, he escaped up the road away from Rob Scholler and of course Dean Atkinson in, I believe, race 1 or race 2. But he obviously got double pole position, which kind of helped his advantage. So is he going to be able to do the trick again this evening? But we've got our Sharp back on the grid after missing last week due to work commitment. So the Rick Parfitt Jr. inspired Infinity livery is here, but you know, he's going to be thereabouts. We'll see exactly what he's going to do. He was doing well in a couple of laps, but it's purple in the last sector. But we'll see exactly how close he's going to get. But just looking at the cars then. So you've got obviously the team hard Cooper of Moreno after missing, I think he's missed about a few rounds, but hopefully he will be picking up the pace to come back and get a few race wins. He got 2 race wins at, I believe, the Red Bull Ring, or was it one or maybe 2 at the Red Bull Ring? I can't remember that far back, but it's been a while since that round of the season. But in pit lane at the moment you got Panos Forganis, the Greek, in the Halfords of Cataclean Honda livery, but it is obviously based on Mazda Atenza, but I do call it by its manufacturer that it represents in real life. There you got obviously Dean Atkinson, multiple race winner in Eldar Sim, as well as champion. He's in the Rocket MB Motorsport WSR BMW 330, but you may go, well, that's a Subaru. Yes, it's maybe a Subaru Impreza, but because of BTCC, we like to call it by its proper manufacturer. and I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen. I believe it's 2 10-lap races tonight, so it's going to be very interesting. Not too sure what the weather gods are praying for, whether the bit of a rain that's going on in pit lane, or maybe even it's just going to be a dry race. It's going to be pretty humid by looking at the potentially track at the moment, but Zashat fires the way out his Infinity out of the Schumacher S there, but runs a bit wide towards the latter half of the lap, but who knows, he's got a bit of an issue there. But as I say, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Panos has just gone out of pit lane. He's the first of the 2 Halfords with Cats Clean cars, I believe. Obviously Brian Moncani is in the other one, which is obviously based on a BMW, but this one is based on Master Attender, but it is a Honda FK8 Civic in real life, so it'll be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. I believe we're expecting maybe 8 or 9 drivers tonight, which is a bit unfortunate, but what can you do? You know, I think obviously with the likes of the summer now fast approaching, and I think people will have obviously family commitments, but nevertheless we will be still providing you great entertainment. I believe we head off to just going to look at the calendar while we're at it for the Chell Lawman BTCC championship, but we'll have a look now as we head in towards so round number 6. But did I say round number 6? It's probably round, yeah, it says round number 5, so I may have been way ahead of myself on the potentially the calendar. But next week we go to on British soil, so we go to, of course, Brands Hatch, which I'm looking forward to. I don't know whether it's the Grand Prix or the Indy circuit for that next week, but I'm looking forward to being on home soil. It's going to be an absolute fantastic night of racing. And then we go to Blue Moon, and then we go to Dragon Trails Garden. So yeah, we are kind of towards the latter half of the season now, and it is going to be very interesting. But you never know, Katanis may run away with 2 race wins again tonight, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Then you've got Rob Scholler in the second of the MB cars. Luckily this one has yellow headlights, so I can exactly we'll see exactly what he's going to do. So he's yellow headlighted, so I can tell the difference, but it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to go on tonight for him. Is he going to run away and get another race win, or is he going to be thereabouts? He's done so well this season so far. He's on the mediums at the moment. Obviously if you're new to the championship, you must use 2 out of the 3 compounds, whether it's softs, mediums or hards. You must use one of them 3 in either the race. So if it was race 1, say for example you're on the softs, then you have to use the mediums or the hards for race number 2, and vice versa depending on which ones you were in. But I think Rob Scholler was going to go into pit lane and he missed the pit lane exit, pit lane entry should I say, not the exit. But we'll see what he's going to do tonight. Nevertheless it's going to be a good night of racing. As I say, you know, just thereabouts, I think, you know, Rob's now crossed the pit lane line, which he's not meant to do, but I think he's just going to obviously try and push on. He's going to try and catch up to Katanis in lap times. We're not ready for qualifying as of just yet, where qualifying is around 10 to 8. I believe for 10 minutes yet again, but I'm going to go through the points because the points have had came in after Chell's but the points are as follows. Then Rob Scholler is on 134, so the guy currently on stream, he is on 134 because he has had more race wins, I believe, or more points scored than of course Katanis only entered at Red Bull Ring, I believe, the second round of the season. Then you've got Andy White doing well for BTC Racing. So Katanis is on 87, Andy White for BTC Racing. The Rich Energy Cars, he's on 76. Then you've got Brucey Collins or Tom Ingram racer in the Hyundai, the Bristol Street Motors with Trade Price Racing and Accelerators. Katanis goes off at the hairpin into the wall, which he doesn't want to be doing in qualifying, neither of the race either. But Brucey Collins is on 75, so he's only 1 point behind Katanis, depending on if Brucey does make it tonight, then he may leapfrog depending on results, obviously. Then you've got Thomas Chuvalier, who's currently on screen on 74. He's actually, so between third, fourth and fifth, there's only 1 point in it between them. Then you've got Gareth Morris. Gareth Morris was missing last week in Paramax Astra, the Michael Crease and Ash Hand livered. Then you've got Dean Atkinson. Well, Gareth Morris is on 68. Dean Atkinson, of course, on 63. And then the second of the BTC Racing Hondas, Nick Sargent, the founder of Eldar Sim, the absolute all-time great and legend for providing us with great championships to run, and of course he is on 62. Then we've got Panos, the Greek driver. He is currently on 60 points. What was Nick on? I can't remember what points Nick was actually on. He's on 62. Yeah, Nick's on 62 points. But the Halfords with Cataclean cars are next, with the likes of Brian Moncani and of course Panos. But Panos is in, of course, 9th with 60 points. Then Brian Moncani on 56. Then of course Adam Morgan, not the BTC star, the Welsh namesake, but the Welsh namesake Adam Morgan is not here tonight. He has actually got married. So if you're watching the stream, Adam, congratulations, my friend, from all at Elson Racing, and I hope it has been a successful day for you, my friend. But who knows exactly what is going to be in store. Maybe he'll be back next week. He may not be. He may be on honeymoon next week, so he's going to be obviously he's on 46 points. He's tied actually for 11th place with, of course, Darren Baldwin. Darren isn't here tonight. I think Darren's had work commitments, so he's not going to be making it in the Laser Tools Infinity. They're actually on 46 points each. Then you've got Ash Sharp and of course Neil Smale, both in the Rick Parfitt Jr. Inspired Infinity, but obviously one's a Mazda and the other one is a Subaru, just to tell the difference. But Ash Sharp is on 35 and Neil Smale is of course on 27 with, of course, Nate Fletch. Nate Fletch has only done, I think, the only one round. He's in the other MB Motorsport BMW, which he was in a BMW to start with, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen for that. But who knows? But you know, we've got around 7 drivers at the moment. I know Gareth Morris has just entered the lobby, so we will see the Powermax Astra out on track tonight, so it will be great. I'm just looking through the cars at the moment just to make sure there's nothing untoward, but I think Panos is just trying different tyre compounds at the moment, just to get that out there. But he's obviously going to be pushing on. But at the moment, Endix seems to be 6th fastest at the moment. He's done a 2:10.0 GT7 so it's going to be very close to see exactly what he's going to do. He's actually quite on the he's on the mediums, but had a bit of a disaster at Trail Mountain last week. But obviously when we go to the last round of the season, it is a circuit he really loves, and that is of course Dragon Trails Gardens. I think it is Gardens or Seaside, I can't remember the one or two, but I'm sure he will correct me, no doubt at some point. But looking very smooth at the moment is the Rich Energy Honda. He's obviously going to be pushing on, and then of course Gareth Morris, as I say, he is coming out of pit lane now in the Paramax car store Astra. But it's a Lexus RCF, but it is a Vauxhall Astra in real life, so he is going to be thereabouts. So we'll see what he can do tonight. Is he going to be on the money to try and push on as he gets a bit loose out of the turn number one? But it could be very interesting to see how close people are going to get. I'm just going to see if any more are going to be jumping in. But who knows exactly what's going to happen. But you can just see Katanis and the APEC Motorbase Focus ST driver. He is currently on the money. He's actually done a 2:03.499, but it's gone into pit lane, so it's probably going to be handling quite a bit with that. But then obviously the Team Hard Cupra seems to be a bit loose at the moment, going through the back end, so we're going up towards Advan and across Bliston, but now up towards the NGK chicane, so it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what he's going to do. I think we've got 9 drivers at the moment, which seems to be a bit of a decent sized grid, I must admit. But like I say, there's a few people maybe missing, but we'll see how close it's going to get. But the early pace setters then, with the likes of Katanis and of course Moreno at the moment trying to push on. Rob Shoulder goes back into pit lane. Nick is up into 4th now then for practice. We're going to get qualifying underway in a minute. Maybe we're going to wait for a few more drivers to join, but Nick is up to 4th at the moment with a 2:09.064. so the Rich Energy BTC Racing FK8 Civic is thereabouts. He's going to push on. He's actually under the weather at the moment, is Nick, but he's going to give it his all just to race for tonight. It is going to be very close to see how well he goes. He's tries to be thereabouts, but the new adapting driving style from what he's had previously. But you may have seen on the Mondays the Endurance League, the hour-long Endurance League at Bathurst at round number 1. He had a hefty shunt, so he's obviously going to be recovering from that slightly. And we've also got Andy White, his teammate, just joined, of course, as well as Brian Mongani, so that will bring the grid up to 11. So that's going to be very interesting for 11 of us. But Andy White then out on track then in the second of the Rich Energy BTC Racing FK8 in the 888 machine. So he's thereabouts. He's going to try and push on, but looking at some of the cars in pit lane, as Katanis has a 5/10 penalty. Not too sure why. Maybe cutting the track slightly with track limits, but shouldn't really be a major issue. But you know, track limits are there. They're not there to be broken, but could be very close to see what's going to happen. But I'll try and figure out for the round here for of course Chell, Lawman, Motorsport, BTCC. We're getting ready for qualifying. Qualifying will be starting in a minute or two. It is for potentially 10 minutes, so probably going to be a minute late for the guys to go out onto track. I will get all the display up this time, purely because the guys want to know what tyres to run, so that is fair enough. But getting ready then for a frantic, of course, qualifying session, as Gareth Morris actually picked up a 3-second penalty. I don't know whether he actually got forced to cross the pit exit line, which it goes against it at the moment with the likes, of course, Moreno just there. Just going to see the other comments, but we'll see exactly what is happening. But it is going to be very close. But, good evening, Nick. How's it going, mate? How are you? I do apologise, I missed your comment and you're out on track, mate. Do apologise for that, buddy. But yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, guys. If you're watching the stream, guys, please do like and subscribe to Eldar Racing. Help these guys out. It helped me massively for commentating duties. Been commentating now, probably coming up maybe 2 years now, I think. I've lost count how many races I've commentated on. I used to race, funny enough, but I actually prefer to sit back and watch the racing unfold as our Sharp goes through the Schumacher S. Smoothly does it though. What's he going to do? Obviously this is for qualifying for the first race then, as he breaks a bit late. He's going to try and push on quite a bit, but he goes through, of course, Bliston, and of course in towards Advan, and then fires his way up towards the NGK chicane. The penalty line's actually on the before the entry to Advan there, so it's going to be very interesting to see what people are going to do there. But our Sharp goes into pit lane, then Brian Moncani is another driver that is sat in pit lane at the moment. Rob Chell is also into pit lane, but I think he's actually going to change tyres, so will be very interesting to see exactly what he brings to the table, as the guys will now be beginning their first of probably 3 flying laps, depending on obviously the top. Well, when I say 3 flying laps, it could be 4 at least, but see exactly what's going to go on. Nick's still out there. He's about to cross the line though, and he will go on to, he's on a 207 at the moment, but that's obviously a I think that was completing his lap as Andy White comes out of pit lane, his teammate onto the soft tyres. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But looking at the likes of Panos then on the softs at the moment, the Greek, and then of course then we've got Dean Atkinson, of course Ash Sharp, and then Brian Moncani are the cars in pit lane at the moment, maybe sitting out the session for the time being. But Katanis then, is he going to be the first driver to literally get onto pole position and make it back-to-back pole positions, or is he going to be pushing too hard and crack under pressure? I don't think he will. He's actually second in the championship, but the Focus ST at the moment seems to be the APEC machine. He's going to be thereabouts, but could be very close if you ask me. But we'll see exactly how that comes about very soon. But he's going up towards the NGK chicane now, about to brake for it as well, and he's going to be crossing the line in a minute. He's probably going to go for another run because he's got clear air at the moment. The car that was in pit lane is probably still in pit lane, but the other one is down at the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit, so it's not got much traffic as he goes a 203.472. Moreno goes a 204.061, so he's second at the moment. Gareth Morris then 205.908 for the Powermax Astra. He's going to be thereabouts as Rob Shoulders actually on a outlap, so that's not going to count this time round, so that will hurt him. So that will probably be Nick up into fourth then, no doubt. Yes, it is, with a 207.345. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen for him. But Andy White, his teammate, was on an outlap, so that's put him in 7th. Dean Atkinson's on the money at the moment, going through the Schumacher S. Is he going to be able to steal pole position away from Katanis? Unless he's on an, I think he's on a flyer. I'm not too sure whether the outlap with a 206.287. I think he's going to be thereabouts. But our Sharp then is the other driver to literally do another lap. So he's on a. So there's Brian McGarney sits in pit lane at the moment. The Belgian, the likeable Belgian. And the Halfords with a clean Honda, but his teammate is Panos Forganis at the moment with a 205.651. So the Halfords car currently up into 3rd. Then is he going to be there? He's split the likes of Gareth Morrison and of course Nick at the moment. So it's Focus versus now Cupra versus BMW as Dean Atkinson goes up to 3rd with a 205.491. Is that an equal time though? No, it's not. It was, I think it was almost an equal time, but it's a 205 point. It could have been. I'm just having a look at the times at the moment. No, it's not thereabouts, but Panos is now down to 4th, Gareth Morris is 5th, Nick is in 6th at the moment. He's obviously pushing on, going through advantage up towards NGK chicane. He's got a car ahead of him. He's got his teammate right behind him at the moment, but Andy White is down in, of course, 8th place at the moment. So the Rich Energy BTCC cars are thereabouts, but Nick goes into pit lane, then will be pushing on as Rob Scholler goes a 204.695 to go 3rd. So the MB Motorsport cars are 3rd and now 5th because Andy White goes 4th with a 205.112. So it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen, but who knows what is going to happen thereabouts. I'm just going to obviously but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But just seeing exactly there, but Renault's still 2nd with, of course, Catani still there, but we've still got a couple of minutes left, so it's probably. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen for this evening. But Dean Atkinson is, of course, 5th at the moment. Gareth Morris in that Power Max Astra, still 6th at the moment. A Sharp 7th in the Grip Path Infinity. Nick's in pit lane at the moment. I don't know whether, unless he's waiting for Brian to set a lap, so then we can get race 1 and the grid sorted for, of course, race number 1. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But just looking at the stream, Phil Wilson's just commented on the stream. Good evening, Phil. How are you? But Moreno is currently there, so Brian Mulcahy will have an outlap and he will do a 1 lap just to get involved in the qualifying. It looks like a couple of cars, but Brian Mulcahy then the 2nd of the Halfords with Cataclean BTC Racing Hondas. Absolute fantastic liveries, managed to make it work on a BMW, but it's going to be thereabouts. I think Brian is going to be probably at the back of the grid then, so he will be starting 10th for race number 1. So the first of 10 lap races is about to start as Rob Shoulders off at turn 1. But I think that is going to be it for qualifying as the race does get underway, as Brian Mulcahy has to start from the back of the grid. But we are getting ready for the first of 10 lap races then, with Katanis and Moreno. So the Ford versus the Cupra versus the MB Motorsport BMW versus the Honda and the other MB Motorsport BMW as the 5 red lights are about to flip to green any moment now. Who's going to get a good jump? It looks like Low Katanis has a good start, but then of course Andy White is a demon start. He's already jumped into, of course, 4th place. He's there, he's on the attack already to try and get past Rob Schuller. But it's already been a change for the lead because the likes of Moreno and of course Katanis, the Cupra, and of course the Ford battling for first and second at the moment with the likes of Rob Schuller. And of course Dean Atkinson now, his teammate is behind him, so the two BMWs, the MB Motorsport Road Kit cars, are 3rd and 4th at the moment, with the likes of Andy White 5th in a Honda versus the Halfords Mechanically Honda. It's almost a Honda 5th, 6th, and it was going to be 7th, but Gareth Morris in the Power Max Astra has got past Nick Sargent for, of course, 7th place at the moment, with the likes of Nick trying to push on, but Panos and of course Gareth Morris, they're almost side by side, not making the best of friends. Nick is there, he's trying to hunt him down like a chasing pack of wolves, but we'll see exactly what's going to go on. But Nick is there, it's 3 cars, oh my goodness, Panos a bit brave on them brakes there going into the hairpin, but that is allowed the likes of Gareth Morris and of course Panos now to escape. Nick's there in 8th, Brian Moncani of course 9th, with of course our Sharp at 10th place at the moment for the opening laps. It's going to, or the opening corner, should have a couple of corners, but our Sharp getting past Brian Moncani for 10th place, nicely done into that corner. Brian Moncani struggling at the moment this season, not been on the pace as much as he likes, with the likes of Andy White with a 5/10 penalty. He's probably had that for corner cutting, but he couldn't have took it this time round. But Dean Atkinson on the attack on his teammate into 3rd into the NGK chicane, but they almost make contact. Both MB Motorsport cars make contact, which is then took off Rob Schuller, and of course now fired Andy White up into 4th, but it's almost nose to tail. But that's allowed Katanis to get away in the focus for first place at the moment, onto lap 2 out of 10 then, with the likes of Moreno in of course 2nd, Rob Schuller now 3rd at the moment. A bit of contact between him and his teammate, but Andy White is still there with that 5/10 penalty. But there's a move, or there's a battle still for 6th and 7th, because the likes of Panos and of course Gareth Morris, I think Nick's also joining in this battle for between the pair of them, so it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen between these guys, because Nick is on a mission. Nick is trying to get past the Power Max car store Astra, which he does. He's into 7th, so further back up as he goes. He's now going to try and chase after the sister Honda, the Halfords Clean Honda. He's going to chase after Panos. I think it's going to be very close to see exactly how close that brings, because it's almost nose to tail between the pair of them, as Brian Moncani just going back to him quickly. Unfortunately 10th place at the moment, but looking what Nick's going to do. He's got that Honda, the BTCC Racing Rich Energy car, dialed up very well this time round, in this opening race of the season, not the season, but here at the Nurburgring, as he's about to try and get past Panos. So now Andy White's got that 5/10 penalty. It might not hurt him as much, but it's going to be trying to push on as the likes of Moreno and of course Katanis, as Katanis runs a bit wide, kicks up the dirt, but he can't afford to do that too much, as Rob Schuller 3rd, of course Dean Atkinson with that 1 second penalty. Now he's actually caught that, but that's dropped Andy White back into 5th. That penalty's hurt him slightly, but the likes of Dean Atkinson, yes, he's got a penalty, but he's chasing after his teammate again. The MB Motorsport cars are trying to literally take each other a battle to the cleaners at the moment, but could be all or nothing. We'll see exactly what's going to happen, as Katanis yet again still leads that race. I believe we saw Moreno with a penalty, so Katanis with the fastest lap with around about 203.1. 203.165, yes, that is correct, as Katanis still leads the race then. Moreno trying to chase him down, but he's got 1 second penalty. He's not going to be able to do that in the Cupra. Got to try and push on as best as he can, but Rob Schuller is there. What's going to happen? Is he going to be able to get away from his teammate Dean Atkinson? They're both nose to tail going through the stadium section, but Dean Atkinson knows he's got that penalty. What's happening further back? Looks like Andy White's under pressure from the sister Honda of Panos Varganis, the Halfords Cataclean. They're trying to make friends to both sets of cars, because Panos is in a BTC Racing with Rich Energy sandwich at the moment. There's a lot of tyre squeal though, but Nick's trying to go there. I think Nick's flipped the indicator on just to say to Gareth Morris, why is it a distraction, or has Nick just flipped the indicator stalk in the Honda to say, right, Gareth Morris can get past? But it might be, but our Sharp is there, and of course 9th at the moment. Brian Morgani is still 10th in the BMW, but not the BMW, the Honda. Trying not to call it its carving that he's using, but try and call it its manufacturer. I think Nick's actually turned that indicator off now, but he's nearly losing a place hand over fist from Gareth Morris. The Astra versus the Honda, almost wide. Gareth Morris is trying to go there, he's trying to get past Nick. Nick's losing places at the moment, but he's conceded. Gareth Morris has got to be very careful in towards the NGK chicane, as a Sharp was having a bit of a dance in the background, literally there to try and get past of course Nick at the moment, the Upton Steel and Rock and Race Rip Parfit Jr. livery. But seems a very interesting battle going on to lap 4 out of 10 then, so who knows exactly what's going to happen. I think Dean Atkinson's now dropped slightly back from his teammate, so could be very close for Dean and of course Andy White. Andy White a bit capable of running in the top 5 at the moment. He is thereabouts. He's in 5th place at the moment with Panos in 6th. Gareth Morris then trying to hold off Nick. Nick's trying to go back at him. It could be all or nothing. You could see exactly how close it's going to get, but Nick's on that line trying to get back past the Astra. He's got to be careful, as our Sharp may join the party. It's almost like a playground scrap between 6th, 7th and 8th, but that's exactly how it's going to be, because these guys are literally trying to battle to get further up the grid. But I tell you what, it is going to be thereabouts, with the likes of our Sharp and of course Nick Sargent at the moment for, of course, 8th, 9th and 8th and 9th, as Ash gets on the move at the hairpin. Whoa! Nick's got the cutback though, and I'll tell you what, Ash nearly had a bit of a brown pants moment there. Literally, as he broke into the hairpin, I think he couldn't slow the Infinity down, but it seems that Nick's on a mission, but both of them got through that unscathed. Let's have a look what's happening further up the road then. Has the gap come down? No, it hasn't. Gatanis is still leading for Motorbase with the Team Hard Cooper in 2nd. They've actually pulled a gap from, of course, Rob Scholler, who's actually championship leader at the moment going into this race this evening. Of course, Dean Atkinson and of course 4th at the moment, with Andy White in 5th, then Panos 6th, Gareth Morris in 7th. But then you've got Nick and of course our Sharp still battling for what is now 8th and 9th. They're still battling there. Brian Mulcahy's still in 7th place at the moment. He is absolutely on a mission, but not Brian, because Brian's actually a bit far back. But Nick's trying to now catch back up towards Gareth Morris and trying to get back into the top 7 in this race. And I feel sorry for Brian Mulcahy. He's struggling like mad in that Halfords Cataclean Honda at the moment, but around 5 laps to go in this first race of the evening then, here at the Nurburgring, as our Sharp gets a bit crossed up. It could be very close to see what's going to happen between... Oh, as Nick goes wide, I think he's trying to catch up to Gareth Morris as best as he can, but that's allowed our Sharp to close back up. But you can just see the likes of Gareth Morris trying to get away with, of course, Nick under pressure from our Sharp. It's the Honda versus the Infinity, the Q50 against the Civic at the moment. It seems that Nick's trying to push on, but he's obviously there, but you can just see how close it's going to get between the pair of them, the likes of Nick. And of course our Sharp, is he going to do exactly what he did a lap ago? He's going to try and get there, but Nick closes the door just about on the Infinity, but our Sharp will try and get the overlap towards the Schumacher-esque. Is he going to be able to do it? Where is he? He's there. Oh, it's getting tooth and nail between the pair of them. Oh, trading paint as well into the Schumacher-esque. What a battle between the pair of them. This is absolutely unreal. Our Sharp is there now in, of course, 8th place. He's literally on the tooth of money. He's actually on the money. He's got past Nick. Nick's going to try and get him, but he's getting... Oh, Ash goes a bit wide, kicks up the gravel. He's going to be having a bit of dirt on his tyres now in towards Advan for the 5th time. That is absolutely unreal, but these two are having a stellar battle. I don't know where to look at, you know, but fair play to Nick and, of course, Ash at the moment. They're actually doing a stellar job, but Nick's got that gap now. But have we got another battle on our hands? Let's have a quick look. I think Dean Axington's got a 5-10 penalty. Yes, he has, but not really closest battles yet. But I think the closest one we've got then is for 8th and 9th at the moment. But this is absolutely insane. I think Nick's going to try and chase after now Gareth Morris, because he's going to try and gap past Sharp, but he's got to try and push on to get up to that Vauxhall. You can just see exactly what's going on. I'm going to try and flick to the race lead in a moment, but I think that gap's slightly coming down, slightly but surely now. But just see Nick there trying to get away from my Sharp. He's trying to get up to Gareth Morris, but I think Gareth Morris is actually trying to catch up towards Panos Forcani. So the Castor Power Max Astra versus the Halfords Cataclean Honda. They're having a bit of a battle for 6th and 7th. This is absolutely what we like to see here in the Chell Lawman Motorsport BTCC Championship, brought to you by Eldar Racing. But I think my voice is going to disappear after this race. But looking at Panos and, of course, Gareth Morris. But Gareth Morris, BTCC Championship winner, as well as race winner. He's multiple Eldar Sim champion is Gareth Morris, but the Welshman trying to get past the Greek driver in towards the Schumacher-esque. Not this time round though. May be able to do it in this last half of the sector, but he's getting there as close as he can. I think the battle for 3rd, is it 4th and 5th, I think, between Dean Atkinson and, of course, Andy White at the moment, thereabouts. With the likes of Rob Scholler still there, and I believe the top 2 is Katanis, just give him a bit of airtime, because all guys need a bit of airtime in the stream. But Katanis still there, and of course 1st place rather, and of course Moreno for Team Hard, of course, in 2nd at the moment. But Dean Atkinson is under pressure from Andy White going across the line on to lap 7 out of 10. First race has already provided some great entertainment so far, and I'll tell you what, Dean Atkinson is there trying to hold off Andy White. Panos is still there, and of course 6th at the moment with Gareth Morris 7th. Nick's got away a 1.8, well, it's now a 1.4 gap. It's shot back up to a 2.4, 2.9, because our Sharp, I don't know what's up with our Sharp, but the mediums, look at that, the tyre wear is literally slightly going off now on the Infinity. And Paul Rob Bryan in 7th place, not enjoying his time at the moment. I'm not too sure whether he's struggling or whether there's a bit of an issue. His panel scores a bit wide. Just come to that battle and get, you know, Panos goes onto the dirt. That will have dirt on his tyres, so that will allow Gareth Morris to literally get past. He'll do the Car Store Power Max Vauxhall Astra justice to try and get past the Halfords Cataclean Honda. He's going to be able to do it? I don't think so. Sliding about out the hairpin, kicks up the dirt. But Andy White trying to chase after Dean Atkinson. You can see the Rich Energy BTC racing car. He is thereabouts. But it's going to be very close to see exactly what is going to happen, because I think Andy White is going to catch up to Dean. Dean's obviously on a mission in the MB Motorsport BMW, trying to get hold of that Honda as best as he can, but you can just see what's going to happen, because it's almost nose to tail going up the hill towards the MGK chicane. Dean Atkinson goes one way, Andy White goes the other. Who's going to be the last to brake? Looks like Dean's got to clip the curb a bit, has he? Has he been able to, as Andy White gets into 4th? Nicely done. but that's going to be allowing drop Dean Atkinson back down to 5th. Panos is under pressure for 6th between Gareth Morris, but looks like they almost had a bit of a collision, but they didn't. But on to lap 8 out of 10 then, so 2 laps to go this time round. Could be a nail-biter finish, but Panos is on the mission with that Honda. He's trying to literally get away from that Power Max Astra as best as he can. It could be close as he likes, but you can just see what is going to happen because Panos is thereabouts in, of course, 6th place at the moment, with Gareth Morris chasing him down. But it's Dean Atkinson trying to chase after Andy White. Yeah, the Honda versus the BMW, but it's absolutely been fantastic. I can't believe how close it's been tonight so far in the opening race of the evening. I wonder what the second race is going to be like, because I think that will be even more exciting, but it has been thereabouts. I think Dean Atkinson knows the softs have been a bit harsh on him so far in this race. It has been thereabouts as Andy White now gets away from, tries to get away from Dean Atkinson's BMW, so the Honda driver literally now going out of towards the Schumacher S, as he does. I think Gareth Morris now has that gap now, so not much battles galore at the moment, but let's see what this means to Nick. He's actually on the mission then. The medium tyres are slightly worn, but he's had a nice battle with Ash Sharp in the last couple of laps, as Ash Sharp has a 1 second penalty. That's now going to delay him slightly now to try and catch up to Nick. And of course Brian Moncani down in 10th place, the last place on the track. But Katanis then on to of course the penultimate lap of the race. He's still leading the race then, and he still has the fastest lap, but you can just see exactly how that's going to pan out, because he's there, he's trying to get away the Focus versus the Cupra, but as Rob Shoulder goes, still stays 3rd. Excuse me, I do apologise, didn't have time to mute it while I sneezed. But Rob Shoulder then 3rd for MB Motorsport. Could be very interesting to see what is going to happen, because he's still 3rd. He could be still championship leader. Andy White's still 4th at the moment from Dean Atkinson. Dean's picked up a penalty somehow, but that's not going to help him this time round. But Panos is still there. He's got Gareth Morris now for company. These two are still having a battle. I'll tell you what, if it's a battle like Ash Sharp and of course Nick may, if Nick gets a bit of the power, presses the loud pedal loud enough, he may get catching up to the 6th and 7th of course Panos and of course Gareth Morris. But it looks like Panos is absolutely on the mission. The Halfords got a clean Honda versus the Power Max Astra. Is Gareth Morris going to be able to get past into the hairpin? I don't think so, but you can hear a lot of tyre squeal going into the hairpin. It is thereabouts, but it's Gareth Morris then, he's absolutely, look, the soft tyres are actually near enough been murdered, which isn't the best, but it looks like you can see how close Gareth Morris is trying to catch up to the Halfords Cataclysm car. So Dynamics run Honda versus the Power Max Astra. He's going to have to try and push on, but they may be able to catch up to Dean Atkinson because he's got that penalty, so it may change going on to the final lap of the race, but who knows. Gareth Morris is there, and you can just see how quickly they've caught Dean Atkinson because of his penalty. So it looks like the BMW MB Motorsport driver is in 5th at the moment. Panos has actually caught him right on his tail. I'll tell you what, them soft tyres have literally been shredded to bits as Panos gets past him for, of course, 5th place at the moment. So, you know, you can see how Dean's struggling with them tyres on. Final lap we go then, but I'll tell you what, we've had some thrilling battles so far in the first races of the evening here at the Nurburgring, but looks like Gareth Morris has dropped back a bit. Whether he's just playing it cool just if these two make a mistake, but I don't think they will. But it's now Honda, BMW, and then of course Vauxhall in 5th, 6th and 7th. But we'll try and see that battle in a minute with the likes of Renault 4 Team Hard in the Cupra, still second. He's got a 5-10 penalty though. There's Katanis in the Motorbase Focus ST. This guy, I'll tell you this, he's on course to try and get a pole position and win again tonight. He has actually been on the money. I'll tell you what, where has he been? He missed round 1 of the championship, but when he came in at Red Bull Ring, we knew he was going to be a force to be reckoned for, but fair play to him. Try and jump back to that battle between, of course, Panos. Oh, Gareth Morris has actually got past Dean Atkinson. Oh, Dean's kicked up some dirt out of the hairpin. That's probably going to get Nick chasing after him now. You can tell how the softs have been literally shredded to bits. But we'll try and go back to that battle in a minute with Katanis coming through the final turn then to take a lights to flag victory. He's going to make it another victory. He will be happy with that, no doubt. He is on course to try and take the championship lead. Renault still in second for Team Hard then. I'll tell you what, fair play to him. Not a foot wrong tonight. He's been there. He flashes the lights coming home in second. Rob Scholler, 5-10 penalty. Was that last at the last second? It must have been. Oh, he shunted it into the wall after the line. With the likes of Andy White 4th. Panos Forganis, of course, in 5th place then. With the likes of Gareth Morris in 6th. With, of course, Nick got Dean Atkinson for 7th. Dean, of course, in 8th. You can see, look at the soft tyres on that BMW there. They are literally destroyed. With our Sharp, with his mediums on his Infinity, destroyed as well. And of course, Brian Moncani in 10th place. Oh, what an absolute stellar race that was for Katanis to get the victory. He will be delighted with that. Is he going to make it another pole position, or is he going to make it 2 from 2? Who knows what's going to happen in race number, of course, race number 2 of the evening. It is thereabouts. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm not too sure what time the next race is going to be, but if it's anything like that, I'll tell you what, race 1 was absolutely epic. But we'll see exactly how close it's going to be. But I think the tyres have been thereabouts. I'll tell you what, we've got 4 minutes till race 2 starts, but I believe qualifying will be in a minute or 2. I'm just going to jump and go and get myself a drink, because I have a feeling my voice is going to disappear. I'll be back in a moment or 2. Do apologise about that, ladies and gents. I am back. Just need a quick drink, because commentating is very hard, especially when it's humid and warmer, you know, but let's see who's going to get pole position then for race number 2. But I'll tell you what, if it's anything like race 1, where this guy Katanis literally broke away on the race lead, then we're in for another treat. But I'll tell you what, the battle between Nick and of course that Sharp was one of the closest battles. And obviously Gareth Morris and of course Panos, they were battling as well. Absolutely fantastic, and I'll tell you what, it's quite impressive so far. But I think poor old Brian Mongani, he's had a bit of bad luck this season so far. He's not don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, but he's been struggling quite a bit. But hopefully he'll pick up the pace towards the end of the season. But who knows exactly what's going to happen. Just looking at a few guys that are out on track. I think the ones that are going to try and push on, we are around a minute away then from race number 2 starting, so who knows exactly what's going to happen there. But it could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see exactly how close it's going to be. But we'll try and catch up with the times as they go in. But I think we're going to be ready for race number 2. It's another 10-lap encounter. So good luck, guys, and we'll see what's going to happen. But if you like what you see here, guys, and you're watching the stream, and if you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Please do subscribe to Eldar Racing. It will help us out massively, and we'll see how close it's going to get for the second and final race of the evening. But it looks like then it's Gareth Morris on in the Power Max Astra. That is on, of course, pole position as the 5 red lights are about to come on the starting gantry. It's a good job we got them so we can know what's going to happen. But is Gareth Morris going to get a jump in the Astra, or is Katanis in the Focus going to get the jump? It looks like Gareth Morris has a bad start, and he's popped down again to the top 2 in race number 1, and now the top 2 again at the start with the likes of Rob Shoulder. It's actually the top 3 that are thereabouts with Gareth Morris, Panos, I believe that is Andy White, Dean Atkinson, and I'm trying to figure out who else. It was Brian McCartney, I think, that we're trying to go nose to tail into turn number 1. Well, you can see how close it's going to get, but Panos is there, and of course 7th, the 2 Halfords Regatta Clean cars, the 2 twins, the Dynamics twins. But I think it's almost quite close as Gareth Morris has dropped down towards, yeah, he's 4th at the moment with Andy White in 6th then. But have we got a change for the lead, or haven't we? I'm just going to double check. Gap's come down a bit between Chevalier and of course Katanis at the moment. So the ST versus the Cupra, they're going to battle with Rob Shoulder 3rd at the moment, with Gareth Morris 4th. Of course, Dean Atkinson, Andy White, and of course Panos. These guys were having a bit of a battle in the early stages of race number 1, but Andy White then, of course, 6th place at the moment. He's got to try and get past Dean Atkinson's BMW as best as he can. We'll try and picture it out when it happens, but just looking at the Honda versus the sister car, the Dynamics Honda, just to have a look at it there. It could be very close to see what's going to happen between these guys. It's obviously there, but Nick is under pressure from Brian Moncarney going into the final chicane for that 8th place at the moment, with of course our Sharp, as Brian Moncarney gets a bit loose with our Sharp's Infinity in of course 10th place. But looks like the battle for the race lead then is going to change any moment as we start lap number 2 out of 10. It looks like with 9 laps to go that Katanis is already under pressure from of course Moreno for that first place, as Moreno tries to get that Cooper into the lead. Is he going to do it? Just about, as Katanis goes wide at turn number 1. So the race lead has changed. It looks like these two may have a bit of a battle. Rob Shoulder is still there in third. Gareth Morris is fourth. Not for long though, because Dean Atkinson. Oh, Sharp, what has happened to Ash? He's lost, I think the engine's transpired in that Infinity. I think Gareth Morris is also there as well. You know, he's trying to chase after Dean Atkinson as Andy White tries to go back. There's a lot of slipping and sliding at the moment. Not too sure exactly what's going on, but Dean Atkinson's trying to battle that BMW as best as he can at the moment. He's got his teammate ahead of him, but could be very close between the likes of Gareth Morris and of course Andy White. The Vauxhall versus the Honda. As we go into the hairpin, as Andy White gets past just about Gareth Morris, but Gareth Morris has that line going into the Schumacher S. Is he going to be able to do it? I don't think so, because Andy White closes the door, so could be very careful. But Panos Vorganis, the Greek in the Halfords Clean Honda, literally trying to battle with the guy he battled with in race number 1. They've almost trading paint yet again in race number 2, but could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But and just see with the likes of Nick in 8th at the moment. He got 7th in race 1. He's going to be thereabouts. But you can see Brian Mulcahy in 9th. Don't worry about my name appearing on the leaderboard. I'm not racing. It's just there because for some bizarre reason. But Nick's trying to get past Gareth Morris. But see if the race leaders are still battling. Yes, they are. They're still nose to tail again. These two are going to take the battle, aren't they? For the race lead with the Moreno in the Cupra versus Katanis in, of course, the Focus. This is absolutely unstoppable between the pair of them. The Frenchman versus, I believe he's Latvian. I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check. But it's going to be very interesting between the top two at the moment. Top two in race number 1 as Moreno tries to hold on for dear life. He is there. He's got the Cupra dialed up this time. He's on the obviously on the mediums with no, he's not. Katanis is on the mediums. Also is Moreno. I do apologise, but we're both on the mediums then. So Moreno in the Cupra versus Katanis in the Focus. They're going to be there. Looks like Rob Schuller and of course Dean Atkinson, both MB Motorsport twins. 3rd and 4th at the moment, with of course Andy White 5th in the BTCC Racing Honda, with of course Panos and of course Nick. Panos is yet again in the BTCC Racing Rich Energy sandwich at the moment. He's in it in race 1, he's now back in it in race 2, so must be a very tasty sandwich filling between the likes of Andy White and of course Panos and of course Nick at the moment. But Nick's going to be trying to push away from, of course, the Carstar Power Max Astra of Gareth Morris and poor old Brian Mulcahy. What's he got to do to get his look changed? But Gareth Morris then with a 5/10 penalty. He's not going to like that. Is that going to be served this time round? But it may not be, because he got it to before the line. So it's not going to be thereabouts. But I'll tell you what, Panos has got to be careful that the sister BTC Racing car, the Rich Energy BTC Racing car of Nick Sargent, doesn't get past him. But Nick is almost there. But you can see how well Nick's driving, even though with Nick feeling under the weather, he is still been battling quite hard in these races so far. But I tell you what, it's looking likely Katanis and of course Moreno, they're still battling for 1st and 2nd as the Cupra versus the Focus this time round onto lap 4 out of 10 at the moment. So even near enough at the halfway stage of race number 2 already. It doesn't feel like it though, but Moreno is still holding off for dear life at the moment. He's got fastest lap in the race with a 2:04.739. I think he's going to be there. He's got that on lap number 2, so he didn't beat it last time. But Katanis is going to be literally on the money. I know for a fact the Focus driver is going to want to get past the Cupra driver. I know for a fact Moreno won the first race of the season. But he's going to be thereabouts. But Rob Shoulder's still there, getting chased by his teammate Dean Atkinson. But it looks like then Andy White's got away from these two, with Nick trying now to get past. Oh, Nick's gone off. Oh no, all that hard work, he is going to have to do that. You know, that is unfortunate. But he is thereabouts then. He's now dropped down to 9th. I think he lost, got a bit sideways, but I think it spat him onto the back bumper of Panos, and then they tried to go almost for a move, but no panel damage though. But it's going to dent Nick's pride though, as Renault's under pressure from, of course, Katanis going out of the NGK chicane to start that number 5. So the Cooper driver versus the Focus ST driver. This is going to be close between the pair of them. It could be very close to see what happens for these two as well. But I'll tell you this, these races this evening, they have been absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what have we missed? You know, missed racing like this. It's been good fun so far, but you can just see Moreno versus, of course, Katanis. They're trying to the top two. Dean Atkinson and Rob and Dean, they're having battles. Rob gets a bit crossed up out of the first corner, but you can see how close it means. But Andy White in 5th then, he's trying to battle the two BMW twins ahead of him, or try and push up with the Team Dynamics Halford's Gatling car of Panos in 6th, Gareth Morris 7th now, Brian Mulcahy 8th, and of course Nick now the lone and last place finisher at the moment in 9th place. He's had a bit of a shocker this time round on him, but it looks like Moreno's trying to hold off Katanis at the moment into the hairpin. These two had a battle in race number 1 and then spread out, but it's looking like there's a battle for 3rd and 4th as well as 1st and 2nd. So got to try and keep an eye where we're going between the likes of Rob Scholler and, of course, Dean Atkinson, both MB Motorsport BMW crew. They are going to probably have kittens. The crew are probably thinking, don't take each other out, lads, please do not do that. Can't afford 2 badly damaged cars going into the home race at Bronze Hatch next week. That could be very close to see. You can see Rob there literally on the mission. He's going to be thereabouts. Let's see how close it's going to get. Is Rob going to get away from Dean Atkinson, or is he going to be pushing on to try and still hold on for the 3rd one to lap 5 out of 10? So we've got 4 laps to go this time round. But I think Katanis is trying to get up towards Moreno and trying to literally get thereabouts. But is he going to try and get that Focus lined up to the Cupra? I think he is. It's just getting a bit close for comfort though, isn't it? Oh, Katanis runs a bit wide though. Still on the money though, still 0.4 of a second gap. This is absolutely fantastic, and I'll tell you what, it's been unreal so far. I'll tell you what, is it going to be another win for Katanis, or is he going to have to concede this time? But I'll tell you what, Dean Atkinson's going to try and get past his teammate. Just try to see exactly what's going on. But Panos and Gareth Morris are at it again. These two battled in race number 1. They're having another battle in race number 2. This is absolutely sensational. What can you do? You can't pick a battle to watch. You're going to have to try and go through the battles. I'll tell you this. If you enjoy the British touring cars in real life like I do, then you're in for a treat with these guys doing the absolute replica version. But I'll tell you what, Panos is trying to hold off. The Honda is trying to hold off that Power Max Astra at the moment. He's trying to get away. But I'll tell you what, it is going to be there about to try and get back to the battle for the lead, and of course 3rd and 4th when I can. But you know, I've got to really appreciate these guys racing at the moment with Gareth Morris and of course Panos trying to literally get their nose to tail. And I'll tell you what, Brian Mulcahy, I think Nick's going to try and catch him up. Yes, there's quite a few battles now going on. I think each position almost has a battle. So it's going to be fantastic to see. But you've got the likes of Moreno and of course Katanis going through the final chicane, hop, skip and jump them curbs. Literally for second and first at the moment. The Cooper versus the Focus. Looks like Dean Atkinson is trying to get up towards, of course, Rob Scholler, his teammate, the BMW, the MB Motorsport ones are there. Andy White, though, 5th place, is one of the lone Rangers that doesn't have the likes of Ashart battling, but he's going to try and catch up towards Rob, and of course Rob Scholler for, of course, 3rd and 4th. Panos is still there eking out that advantage. Then you've got the likes of, oh, Nick's got a 5-tail penalty. No, that's the last thing he wants. But he's going to try and get past Brian Moncani, the two Honda twins, the BTCC Racing one versus, of course, Brian Moncani's Halfords with Cataclysm. Looks like Brian was trying to get past him there, but I'll tell you what, it's going to get close as going to try and see what's going on, because I think Catani's on to lap 7 out of 10 then, so 3 laps to go in this race. It's going to be close between the Cooper and the Ford now. They're getting literally nose to tail. This is absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what, every Friday night when it's BTCC, I look forward to commentating. Oh! Gitanis is going to try and get the Cooper this time. Is he going to get it? He's on the inside, maybe the outside line. Is he going to try and do it towards Bliston? I don't think he's going to. Or is he? You can just see how... Oh. Uh-oh.